Hi there, I'm Sonal Mehrotra Kapoor and you're watching Coffee and Crypto, a show in which we decrypt the world of cryptocurrency for you. So let's see what we've got for you in this week's episode. Well, this week the focus is on NFT, non-fungible tokens. I know it's on everybody's radar, so we thought let's sort of simplify it for you and what exactly does it mean. How exactly is it priced? If you're an artist, what should be your perspective? If you're a collector, what should be your perspective as well? And I know everybody from Kim Kardashian to Amitabh Bachchan, everybody is just going all about NFT now. So without any further ado, let's get into our explainer, and for that, we'll go to our coffee table. Okay, so NFTs can sound complicated, but isn't really. Heard of this Neon the Cat or the slam dunk video of LeBron James? Well, all these very easily available GIFs, fun videos actually have ownership rights. For example, digital artist Mike Winkleman, who goes by the name of Beeple, sold a digital collage of 5,000 daily drawings, calling it Everydays. And guess how much it sold for? Well, a whopping $69.3 million. And if you are a fellow grammer, you may have come across his work earlier as well. He uploads some artwork almost on a daily basis, but until this collage was sold, he was selling his individual artwork for just about $100. $100, $69.3 million. You get the difference, right? But why the pricing? Wait for that. Remember this tweet by CEO of a Twitter, Jack Dorsey, saying, just setting up my Twitter, has set the NFT world on fire as it sold for an almost $3 million US. Why? Wait for that. Remember this meme? It's a cat, right? It's just a cat GIF, now an NFT. Now the bidding for this started at just 3 Ether, which then translated into about 15,000 US, but closed and sold for 300 Ethereum. You do the math over there. Even Big B has caught the NFT fever. But why? Why are people paying millions of dollars for something that is easily accessible to anyone, everyone, in fact, on just a click of a button? Well, it is available for free after all on the internet, so why are people paying for it? The short answer to that is collectibles. Have you also heard about collectibles? You know, art auctions that you keep hearing about or seeing in movies where original pieces of art are of huge value. Take this, which is the most perhaps popular piece of art in the world. Mona Lisa, right? We've all heard about it, seen it. But now, if you can go either to the Louvre Museum in Paris and see the painting on display, take a picture, perhaps, but you can't really carry Mona Lisa home. You don't own Mona Lisa. Now, this is what NFT changes in the digital space, that is. Owning an NFT token gives you ownership of digital assets. This non-fungible token, something that is recognized as proof of ownership as well on the blockchain network, of course, can be used to buy and sell the ownership of the digital asset. And when I say assets, I mean stuff like not just art, music, in-game items, GIFs, videos, and even books. Basically, they can be thought of as a certificate of ownership for virtual or physical assets. But paintings are just one example, like I said. Let's take music, for example. Imagine you're an artist who wants to sell a limited run music piece, perhaps, right? Like it could be something which is a single song that you want to release. Now, NFTs are a great way for you to sell your songs without a label and production house getting in the way. Artists can program royalties. So they'll receive a percentage of the sales whenever the art is sold, resold for eons of years to come, or to any new owner as well. So NFTs put artists first. Another example is books. NFTs are a way for authors to put their work out there even if publishers don't invest in it. Interesting, right? Now, let me tell you how NFTs are made and how does the bookkeeping actually happen in this case. So most NFTs exist on the Ethereum blockchain. One way to look at that is, imagine Ethereum being your gallery, which is showcasing your art. And in this case, your NFT, and you buy and sell then in Ether, right? So take every transaction on the blockchain. The history of ownership is for everyone to see, and the recording is actually of the entire chain of events is put in a digital ledger. Some say, you know, just exactly how cryptocurrency goes actually. So safe in most ways. Next, let's tell you prices. How on earth are NFTs so expensive? Now there are two ways of deciding the pricing of your NFT. There is a fixed price method and then there is the auction method, right? So fixed price, basically the creator of the NFT fixes the price of their art to be sold at, and the other way is auction. Very popular, widely used as well. The creator puts in a starting price upon which audiences decide, and the amount of bidding can go on, and the highest amount that is quoted is actually sold on. This is how Beeple sold his art. This is how Messi's NFT crypto art collection called the Messiverse went on sale as well. So essentially what is NFT doing? It is putting the artist in control of their art, and thus in the crypto world, artists are king. Alright, with that it's time to introduce our guest this week. Joining us today on CC is Vishal Malhotra. Well, if you are a 90s kid, you already know Vishal and perhaps love him. And if you don't, then he is definitely going down history as the first Indian actor to sell art as NFT. Hey Vishal, welcome to Coffee and Crypto.
Hi Sonal, it's such a pleasure to be here. Love your show, and thank you for inviting me.
Well, great. Also joining us today is Nirbhik. Now, Nirbhik is somebody who actually is an NFT collector. And trust me, I have so many questions for you over there. So thanks so much for your time as well, Nirbhik. Sure. So let's just dive in straight into that. All right. So Vishal, I love understanding stories, okay? So I first want to know your story. How did NFT actually happen for you? How did you create this? And how did you get connected with Nirbhik then?
All right. So, you know, I love stories also, and this one is quite a story. About 3 months ago, approximately 3.5 months ago, I was just basically looking to diversify my portfolio, you know, away from the equity market, the mutual funds, etc., which all of us commonly use. And I've been hearing about the whole cryptocurrency craze forever. So I said, hey, you know, let's follow a path and gamble a little bit of what you can afford to gamble with. And I was so naive about this entire structure of cryptocurrencies that I said, why don't I go and buy a couple of Bitcoins? I know you're smirking out there, but the way it happened is that rather than doing that immediately, I joined an app for which I had an invite, and I kind of created a room. And the topic of that room was, let's talk cryptocurrency. And surprise or surprise, people from all over the world, about 2,000-3,000 people joined me in that room and absolutely took me under their wing. And that's when I learned about blockchains, cryptocurrencies, etc. And that totally engulfed me, my imagination. I did a little bit of more research, chanced upon NFT, and that is what resonated with me the most, because being an actor, being creative, somewhere being an artist, because of all of that, NFTs really resonated with me. And that's when I decided that I'd like to be involved with the NFT world.
And to all our viewers watching right now, Vishal has talked to you about his very humble beginnings in the crypto world. But Vishal, do tell our viewers, Maroon 5 bought your work?
Yeah, so Maroon 5 owns my second NFT, which I dropped in collaboration with an artist. And in fact, Nirbhik is here, and he's the collector of my art too. And he too owns that same NFT. So I'd done a 10 of 10 series, and Nirbhik owns one, and one of them is proudly owned by Maroon 5.
Nirbhik, you are in great company, I see over there, much wanted over there. But you know the question I get asked most often, and anybody who's watching also just getting introduced to the world of NFT is simply this. This is at the end of the day an art that is available at a click of a button, right? For free. How do you tell the value of NFT to somebody who's just starting out in this world?
So one can be looking at the longer term perspective, looking at long-term horizon and see where the history is going to be, right? We have all seen the museums and exhibitions, people buy portraits, they buy art, and they look at long-term perspective, long-term horizon, that this is probably something first in the history, right? Now, similar in this case, obviously, Vishal dropped the NFT and he's the first celebrity. Now, owning that piece of art, which is done by Vishal and, one of the person where he collaborated with her, right? So he's the first person to drop an NFT as a celebrity. Now that will go down the history. And owning a piece of that will definitely bring value to the investor or to anyone who holds it.
And ever since then, Vishal, you've actually done so much more. And now actually Amitabh Bachchan has dropped in an NFT as well. So tell me, how does this entire thing work? You're not you're a visual artist, you're an actor, right? So you collaborate with an artist and then two of you together create something?
Absolutely. So that was my intention right from the beginning, because it's a beautiful community. Once you get into that NFT community, that's why you would like a collaboration has a lot more value, has a lot more interaction value. And that's the reason why I decided to collaborate with this amazing artist, Ishita Banerjee. And we brainstormed about it. We came up with a basic creative. She came up with her ideas. I decided to take this to a studio and not only make it a static art, but also give it my voice, give it a little bit of animation. And that's how one of those arts was created. Just the other day, I dropped my third NFT, which was the first Indian actor to have created an NFT in totality and have released it. So that was the one I did on my own. And if I may, it's really exciting because while we're recording this, there are only 5 hours left for an auction to get over for an NFT that I have dropped right now, for which Nirbhik, I've just got a notification that he's bid for it right now. So Nirbhik, thank you for that bid. And the genesis piece is such that it's the first short film in an animated format, which is an NFT, which has a Bollywood actor in it, or an Indian actor, or come out of India. So the first short film. So there's a lot we can do with this NFT space. I love the creative freedom that you get to indulge. And whenever you'd like, I'd love to talk about the utilities which is involved. It's not just a piece of art to look and adore, but there's a lot of utilities which come involved with an NFT.
So while in fact we were talking about this in an explainer, this is what I was trying to tell our viewers as well, and Vishal come in on this point. For those who don't understand this, it's like saying that if you were to showcase your art in a gallery, instead of a gallery, this is digital art getting showcased on a blockchain. That's like one way of making people understand what this means. But go ahead with the point you were trying to make earlier.
Let me give you a comparison between a t-shirt. Okay, say you like X brand and you like a particular red t-shirt in size small. You see, that company is going to make thousands of those exact t-shirts. But imagine if you have, say, Elon Musk, who basically signs on it and says, Sonal, you're the best host in the world and we love your show. That becomes a one of that t-shirt, right? Which has been signed on, which has been created as one. Now, there are not many of those.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Right. So, and what that happens is that that particular literature on it, the art on it, or the text on it gets put on to the blockchain as a proof of originality, right? And that he can make 10 of those copies, he can sign 10 t-shirts, or he can only make one, but there's only one of it. Like the Mona Lisa, you have one, but as soon as you get out of the Louvre, you have it on every poster, every t-shirt, every keychain, right? But the original remains the original, increases in value. Now, as you said, an artist would put it up in an exhibition, sell it, and that's it for the artist. But in this case, when an artist sells an NFT, that artist will get a royalty for every time that art sells. And that's amazing for an artist.
Right.
Besides that, there is an originality proof, which no matter how hard you do in today's day and age, for any art, there is no 100% proof of originality, right? I'm sorry, I'm putting my neck out to say that, but there is no, here you have a blockchain at the press of a button. You have a ledger which says, this is when it got minted. This is who bid for it and this is who bought it. And then further. So you have a proof of originality. You have an advantage to the artist because they are the main owners and they'll keep getting royalty for it.
And we keep talking about this in terms of paintings, etc. But imagine this being done for music. Imagine this being done for video games. Imagine this being done for so many other things. You know, really the world is your ocean when it comes to this as well. Like anything else in blockchain that we are just taking tiny steps and beginning to understand as well. Well, thank you both for joining us and good luck with your NFT journey as well. All right, so that was Vishal and Nirbhik giving us an insight into what exactly happens when you actually make that exchange. On that note, let's step into a coffee break. When we come back, we'll roll back to the other big concerns that everybody has about blockchain and cryptocurrency, which is basically the legal aspect of it. There is a very important quote that has come in from a former RBI. What does that indicate? What does that tell you for the times ahead for cryptocurrency in India? That's coming up on the other side. Stay tuned. You're watching Coffee and Crypto. Welcome back to CC. Now in this segment, we will be talking all about the legal aspect of cryptocurrency, since it's the most talked about and the most popular thing all of you want to know as well. And for that, we've got another expert for you. Joining us today is Ramesh Kailasam, CEO of India Tech. Hi Ramesh, welcome to CC.
Hi, Sunil. Hi.
Hi, good to have you. You know, Ramesh, we were just going through that full PDF that you have actually made, a full point presentation where you talk about the 5 things one must keep in mind and the framework that you have designed in which crypto should really be looked at in India. Take us through some of the highlights first on that.
Well, we had come out with a detailed white paper which we have put up online, and we have submitted it to the Reserve Bank of India as well as all the authorities in government who are stakeholders as per our view, as per the white paper. The purpose of submitting this to the government was to give an alternative narrative on ground, because prior to this white paper, the narrative was largely saying that cryptocurrencies are currencies and therefore was putting them psychologically in direct conflict with the legal tender,
right.
and therefore making a lot of stakeholders uncomfortable. So our point of view was that fundamentally let's look at 5 basic things that we need to sort out. The 5 basic things will lead us to 15 more things or 20 more things. But broadly looking at the fact that if the concern is that India is concerned about it being called a currency, let us not accord it the status of a currency. Let us accord it a status similar to maybe a gold, maybe a stock, maybe a commodity. But the purpose is not to compare them. The purpose is to draw the various parameters that the government deploys on regulating these kinds of
essentially saying that cryptocurrency is not here to fight out or wipe out rupee at all. It's here as an asset, something that you can invest in, something that has a potential future, and something, as we all know by now, it's not just Bitcoin. Cryptocurrency is about a whole new world altogether, and blockchain can actually solve so many of the world's problems as well. I want to draw your attention now to, you know, one of the most statements, the most talked about statement that got our attention this week was one coming in from the RBI governor. Gandhi recently said that crypto can be used as a payment once termed as an asset. Now, a former RBI governor saying this is actually quite huge. Tell us, what did it mean to you and what does it tell you about India's crypto journey?
Well, it has been quite a journey from the time we put this alternative narrative in the market and to all the stakeholders concerned, because one of the things that we did while going through this white paper was, and in the process of writing it, was to actually speak to people and ask one fundamental question. What is it about crypto that keeps you awake? What is it about crypto that terrifies you? And the answer largely from the, if I use the term from stakeholder standpoint,
can I take a guess? Can I take a guess? Was it legality?
Well, more than the legality, it was the misuse part. I think it was the misuse that actually said that's what keeps us awake. And which is why if you look at the white paper, it has been largely, the recommendations have been driven in the direction to address those concerns. To say, okay, you've got a fundamental problem calling it a currency. Let's call it an asset or a commodity or a stock or a marketable security or whatever name, or probably draw inferences from their regulations. If you've got a problem that you can't have a collar to catch, well, let's start with Indian exchanges who will be the ones who will be accorded the legal status to deal in cryptocurrencies in India, which means Indian founders, Indian domiciled exchanges and so on, because that was the second concern. The third concern was people don't declare. I mean, because there's nothing stated in law anywhere, and it's a free animal moving around in the investment class. There is, I mean, I run across millennials who come and say, it's not named anywhere, so I don't need to pay taxes.
Yeah.
Is the income tax law specifically saying cryptocurrencies are taxed this way? No, it is not.
It doesn't say that so far, at least, yeah.
Exactly. And if you look at, therefore we address taxation. So we said, okay, there is a direct tax angle to it, there's an indirect tax angle to it. On direct taxation, if I'm holding it like a casual hobby, maybe it is a capital gains from and a long term and short term depending on the timeline that you hold. But if I'm a trading person, maybe it is profits and gains from business or profession in my line item in my income tax return. So the character changes according to the kind of person dealing with it.
It's
then
great
of course
to
we
hear
also
this from
said
you
that
actually, because I'm sorry I'm interrupting, but it's actually great to hear this from you, because the bottom line on this is what? That acceptance towards perhaps cryptocurrency and the way India and Indian law will be looking at cryptocurrency is going to change very soon. We've spoken about this to our viewers earlier as well, that there is a bill which is ready in the works and will be tabled very soon. So India is paving the way for that. At least that's what it looks like at the moment. On that note, I'm going to thank you for sparing us your time and giving us a much needed perspective on this.
Thank you.
And that's all we could pack in this week's edition of Coffee and Crypto. As always, we love hearing from you. So do keep writing to us with all your feedback and all the questions you might have about the world of cryptocurrency as well. And yes, before I forget, from next week, CC comes to you at a brand new timing and day as well. So we'll see you from next week onwards on Friday at 6:30. Lock that date. Bye for now.